So Dave's been doing training for over 22 years.
There we go. Welcome, everybody. We are so excited. And happy Friday. Make sure we load up the questions today. We're going to do a possibilities, probabilities perspective.
So once the training here is concluded, we'll be taking questions here. We'd love for everybody to invite your neighbor, take a look at who's in the room and definitely friend each other. Please send a message to me in the back channel so that I can help to answer, help to take questions for David. Just raise your hand and there'll be time for the last 30 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. We are just finishing up. Load up the questions today. I'm going to do a training on possibilities, probabilities, and perspective. Thank you, Colleen. And remember, we have 2-minute drill tonight on Bloomberg, and anyone wants to apply for season 4. We'll be filming in July. You can win $50,000 of cash and prizes just for pitching. You don't have to have a business. You just have to pitch. And we've had some extraordinary winners last season in season 3 that you can see on Apple TV and, of course, on Bloomberg. All right, let's get started here on Good Friday and Passover and whatever else you want to celebrate. I wanted to do a training about limitations. And I always say the only thing that you should really focus in on is the death of the limitations in your life. And we set forth so many conscious limitations, subconscious limitations, and of course, we're born with an energetic and genetic limitation. And to be aware of those limitations is essential, because if we can become aware of the limitations we're putting on us, between us and the unlimited, the infinite, infinite in time, infinite in space, infinite in amount, infinite in patience. Even I always tell people, if you have infinite patience, or something I'm in pursuit of, things will happen instantly. But there is a realm of the first limitation. And the first limitation that we had is on our creativity. It's on our imagination. And as technology continues to surpass our imagination, there becomes more and more limitations to our imagination, our ability to wish, to dream, to hope, to remind, remember, and recollect what faith we have in the abundant, all-knowing, omniscient, all-powerful, unbelievable everythingness of infinity. And I want to take and train the first third of this training on possibilities. There is a mathematical, a physical advantage to being curious, to being creative, to dreaming, to wishing, to hoping. There's something that happens between nothingness and a possibility. And that's a wish, a dream, or an imagination. When you think about, merely dream about what you want, you have a physical advantage in the man-made construct of time. You have taken nothingness and created a mathematical advantage called a possibility. You have started to chip away at the limitations that you may aforementionably believe to be in existence. The minute you think about going to Mars or Jupiter, or going to a trillion galaxies, or astral projecting yourself into some sort of realm that you previously didn't believe in, once you think about anything that you want, you have a huge advantage. And this advantage creates that momentum. It's the first step in monetization in a business setting. It's the first step in materialization in your life. And it's the easiest step. And that's why gratitude, for example, is one of the key components in the manifestation process, the materialization process, and the monetization process, is because you, through gratitude, the common denominator of all happiness, have already created a mathematical advantage for yourself by putting your attention and intention on a possibility through gratitude, the light, the love, and the lessons in something that was nothing before. Remember, your entire life, you go from no thing to nowhere to something, and to now here, back to no thing and nowhere. And we do this through this transformation of an idea. An idea becomes what we want. And so I want everyone to make a practice, whether it's gratitude or some other wishing, hoping, some faith-based dream of what you want, and take advantage of the mathematical properties of the pragmatic world to dream, to hope, to wish. And once again, possibilities are exponentially manifested in the fact that you're healthy. So I tell people all the time to take care of yourself. You can't find outside of you what you can't find inside of you. And if you are healthy, guess what? You get as many wishes as you want. And of course, if you're not taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, usually you only have one wish, and that's to heal that. So remember the value of possibilities. And so many people lose about 90% of their momentum, their inspiration and intuition, because they stop dreaming, hoping, wishing what they want. The minute you do so, the minute you make a practice of it, you will create a whole bunch of possibilities, increasing your statistical success in everything in your journey and your pursuit of your happiness, the pursuit of your, potential. Happiness is the pursuit of your potential. Anyway, once we get to understanding how do we increase the possibilities, now we know by as many wishes as we want, but how do we increase the statistical success of those possibilities? Well, we have to take what we want and think about them in the realm of who we are by who we can help and who can help us with what we want. Personally, professionally, giving, productivity wise, and receiving, accessibility wise, of what we want. Those four different aspects need to be a weighted balance every day in order to effectuate, the impact of who we have. And why is that so important? Because if we put our possibilities into the pragmatic context of personal experiential giving and receiving, we are clearing away this interference to become inspired. And that inspiration becomes intuitive of us. It becomes part of our intellect. It is all within us. And the way that we do that is to understand what limitations we're putting on those wishes. So the initial limitation is we don't wish either because of our health or because of what other people want for us, what's missing, what we don't want. We allow those things to limit the number of wishes that we have. But even after we wish and create a possibility, we create more limitations through fear. And those limitations are interfering with our inspiration. And once again, it's a mathematical advantage to be inspired in spirit, to utilize our intuition and our intellect in order to effectuate what's a meaning, a purpose inside of us, so that we can then materialize it or monetize it in the pragmatic world. And so we need to learn to identify those limitations that are fear-based limitations. Now, it gets confusing because in order to create possibilities, we have to be motivated, and motivation can actually be fear-based. Fear is a great motivator, but fear is also a soul sucker. It's an energy waster. So we have to learn that we can utilize fear and motivation in order to effectuate our hopes, our dreams, our wishes, but we need to transcend that motivation into inspiration, because motivation will not get you there. It will end up sucking your soul dry of its emotional aspect, your energy. So we need to transcend through intellect, intuition, and inspiration a possibility into a probability. When we become inspired, the reason that a dream, a wish isn't instantly manifested is because it has limitations of fear, or it even has a motivation of fear in order to effectuate it, where now we want to clear away that fear so that we can live in spirit, inspired, intellectually, and intuitively aligned with the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, abundant source, so that we can become a resource of all that we're connected to and through, maximizing the flow of the universe through us. A possibility becomes a probability when we clear the interference or limitations that we set forth via fear. And so we have to identify what those limitations are that we're putting on our possibilities in order to make them probabilities, to increase the statistical success of what we want personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, so we can deliver that value to who we can help and who can help us, creating a network or community of sponsors and power sponsors. A sponsor being someone that knows someone that can help you, and a power sponsor is someone that can help you themselves and know someone that can help you. But none of these limitations are dissolved, dissipated, or even disappear if we don't practice identifying what they are. And inherent in that, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously, looking at genetic and energetic inheritances, patterns that we have that are accumulated in our subconscious, 40,000 of the same limiting thoughts that may be present or fear-based, in order to effectuate that probability in our conscious daily lives. And so to identify those, we can use multiple practices, but I use a codification practice to identify and repeat and rinse those fears for me, understanding what needs or limitations do I have. Well, I have a limitation with the need to be right. I have a limitation with the need to be offended. I have a limitation every time I try to be separate from. I have a limitation when I feel inferior. I have a limitation when I feel superior. Anytime I'm anxious or frustrated or angry, the duplicative interference of worrying, the duplicative interference of complaining, judgments and conditions, resentment and guilt. These are conditions that not only create the interference between our possibilities and a statistical success or advancement of a probability, but they actually create the limitations, and worse, they wish for what we don't want. So now we're creating possibilities with what we don't want or what's missing or what other people want for us. So we have to, take the first step of transitioning motivation into inspiration, possibilities into probabilities, by transcending the interference or limitations that exist between possibilities and probabilities, motivation and inspiration. And those are all fear-based consciousnesses. And if we can identify those limitations, then we can start to practice the dissipation, the dissolving, and hopefully the disappearance of that interference, knowing that it's omnipresent, just like the omniscient, all-powerful source that we want to be a resource to, that this fear is omnipresent, so that we have to utilize time to reconcile how quickly we can dissipate, dissolve, and disappear it from our daily activities of what we want personally, professionally, giving and receiving wise, so that we can deliver that value to who we can help and who can help us. Very simply, if we utilize time to say, how quickly am I dissolving, dissipating, or disappearing this fear from my daily activities, so that I can live in inspiration and take every possibility, wish, hope, and dream and make it a probability for today, making it a probability, increasing its statistical success, that I can monetize it or materialize it today. And by doing so, I can utilize the flow itself by identifying and not resisting, not putting my attention and intention, what I do, say, think, believe, and feel, towards something I don't want. I put my attention, what I do, say, think, believe, and feel, towards what I do want, that wish, dream, hope that I have asked for that day. And once I identify, why do I feel anxious? Why am I frustrated? Why am I guilty? Why do I feel resentful? Why do I feel separate? Why do I feel alone? Why do I feel superior, inferior? Then I can, instead of resisting it, trying to outlogic it, go over it, under it, or through it, or lie to it, manipulate it, or cheat it, or even oversell it or back end sell it, it doesn't matter. I simply need to stop and get to my higher self by breathing through my nose and out through my mouth until I remember, and recollect to the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source, so I can become a greater resource, a greater ball of intuition, intellect, and inspiration, allowing it to come through me for others who can help me and who I can help. Creating this community, aggregating the community of sponsors and power sponsors. Mathematically, in the real existence, not in the woo-woo construct of, this idea of manifestation, of dreaming of what you want and it appearing, utilizing pragmatic practices of wishing, hoping, and dreaming, getting rid of the limitations from that fear-based motivation of knowing what I want and who I can help and who can help me. I now take that possibility and identify the fear and create a flow by stopping, not resisting, breathing and dropping, and then reminding, remembering, and recollecting what I want, those wishes, in order to be inspired. Because the minute I become inspired, my possibilities become a probability. And probability statistically is much greater than possibilities. So the more possibilities we have in the day and the more probabilities we have in the day, the more statistical success we'll have at our ultimate goal in a day, which is materialization and monetization. When we utilize discipline and strategy and awareness in order to effectuate an inspired, intuitive, intellectual, and inspired probability, we now can take it to a construct of consistent, persistent behavior of what we want today in that trajectory of the probabilities that we have created for the day. Within each construct of days, we can change our mind by learning lessons with forgiveness and love as our purpose. Remember, in the realm of probability, the thoughts about your purpose are your purpose. The thoughts about your purpose, and purpose being love and forgiveness, the truth and forgiveness of those probabilities, we have to be disciplined. We have to be consistent. This is the only construct that the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious being that we are can utilize in order to remember, recollect, and remind. This is how the system works. That if we do things consistently, the cellular memory will pick it up, speaking to the subconscious collective intermediate memory that we have that hosts 40,000 of the most consistent thoughts and beliefs that we have, that then speak to our energetic and genetic inheritance. It speaks to our unconscious, which creates the frequency that we live at, a beacon to call upon the monetization and materialization of what we want and who we can help and who can help us. How does it happen? Through discipline. You either suffer from discipline or you suffer from regret. And discipline takes the consistency of lowering the bar and doing something and reconciling time with it each day. Knowing that 2 minutes a day is worth more than 2 hours on a Saturday, that the aggregate effect of behavior and time is the same compounding of interest as money, because money is the same energy as behavior, as time is. The same energy aggregates on itself and compounds on itself if you do it daily, if you are consistent. In order to be consistent, you need discipline. And if you are disciplined, you then can effectuate the second state to transcend probability to your perspective or reality being either monetization or materialization of what you want, the possibility, the inspired possibility called the probability. Now, through consistent discipline, we use strategy in order to effectuate the materialization and monetization. And the strategy that we utilize is time. Now, there's two types of time. There's the pragmatic usage of time, where everyone's given 24 hours a day, 1,440 minutes a day, in order to be productive, to provide value, to be accessible, meaning connected to many people, and access what you want to receive, and of course, gracious. The ability, once again, to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything that you do. say, think, believe, and feel. But in order to effectuate that, we are still limited by the man-made construct of time that we only have 24 hours a day. Therefore, we need to prioritize via time, whether it's worth the time to find the light, the love, and the lessons in this person, this activity, this event, this situation, this product, solution, or service. It doesn't matter. Time needs to be the dependent variable in the pragmatic world. In order to effectuate more efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success in that productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in time, we have to understand the second realm of time, which is the relativity of time. Time is created between cause and effect. The interval between cause and effect is time. And the biggest misuse of time is not prioritizing the light, the love, and the lessons in the people, places, things, ideas that we spend our time on. Meaning the biggest misuse of time is between problems that we perceive and the solutions that we are looking or searching for. The biggest misuse of time is spent between problems and solution. The biggest misuse of time is we are spending it with people, places, and things that bleed us. So we need to prioritize what's important to us by our possibilities and probabilities to effectuate where to spend our man-made construct of time. And then we pay attention and give intention to the causes once we know a milestone, an outcome, or a trajectory for the day. What does that mean in man-made constructive words that you probably are sitting and going, what the F is David Meltzer talking about? Let me put it down to a level of understanding. Think about what you want in the morning, personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise. Think about who it can help and who can help you. You'll become inspired. Be consistent every day with these daily practices. With that discipline, no longer will you suffer from regret, but you will consistently, persistently pursue that potential. Think to yourself, what midterm and long-term objectives or milestones am I looking for today? Being open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed to change your mind because you are learning lessons quickly in order to effectuate the strategy of utilization of that probability by thinking about the causes, the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude that will most likely move you the fastest towards that objective. So if you and I want to travel from San Diego to New York, and you keep telling yourself, I can't wait to get to San Diego or New York. I can't wait to eat deli and Chinese food. I can't wait to walk in Central Park. I can't be so happy when I get to New York. And I tell myself, what do I need to do to get to New York? Do I need to pack my food so I can get there quickly? What directions will I, get from a mentor that is already in New York for the fastest route, the fastest vehicle, the fastest mode of transportation? Not only will I get there faster in the man-made constructive time, but even if you had better capabilities than I did to get to New York, in the realm of relativity, I'll get there much faster than you because you've put your attention and intention on an outcome. I've put my attention and intention on the cause. Utilizing the interval of the cause and effect to my benefit of what I want, who I can help, and who can help me. And utilizing this discipline combined with strategy by reconciling time and attention and intention, all 5 levels of what am I going to do to get to New York? What am I going to say to get to New York? What am I going to think to get to New York? What am I going to believe to get to New York? And what level of feeling do I have, intuition, inspiration to get to New York? All 5 of those intentions will get me to New York, not only faster pragmatically, according to my capabilities, and most importantly, relatively, I will get there exponentially faster and feel good about that journey by learning the lessons, by understanding via what I want, who I can help and who can help me in order to get to New York. This is the key to possibilities, to probabilities, and to perspective. Because remember, there is a duality of perspective of the time reconciliation. Time has a direct impact on our perspective of man-made time, of actually how long it takes, but more importantly, exponentially, of relatively how long it takes. This is the key to monetization and materialization. If you believed in the infinite time, you would not have any resistance into making money. If you had infinite patience because you believed in infinite time, everything would happen instantly. Not in man-made construct time, but in the time of relativity. Understanding how possibilities are created through your imagination, through your ability to wish, to dream, to hope, and ask. And then the difference between fear-based motivation to create that possibility, to mathematically create an advantage for yourself, to make it a probability through inspiration, intellect, and intuition, to transform that fear by identifying it, stopping and breathing, not resisting and overcoming it, or resisting and going under it, over it, through it, around it, overselling, back and selling it, lying to it, manipulating or cheating it, but simply breathing to reconnect, remind, and remember what you want and who you can help and who can help you. If you can get there, you will be inspired, taking every possibility to a probability, then using discipline, strategy, and finally, awareness. Awareness directly related to the higher frequency that you'll be living at as you pay attention and give intention to the causes, with the trajectory of the day in mind, knowing you're welcome to change your mind. I'm looking for people who change their mind. I'm looking for fast learners. What will set you and your business and your life apart is the open-mindedness, the open-heartedness, and the open-handedness that evolves from learning, from making mistakes, from being promoted and protected by those mistakes in order to effectuate the monetization, materialization of what you want, so that you can help others and they can help you. Creating a community of sponsors and power sponsors. I want everybody to think about what they want every morning. Use gratitude as your guidepost to find the light, the love, and the lessons. Take a nothingness and make it a possibility. Use the inspiration of who you can help and who can help you in order to effectuate a possibility to a probability. And then reconcile time with discipline, with strategy, elevating your vibration or frequency to raise your awareness, knowing you can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you. And that awareness will become your perspective. Your perspective is your reality. That reality allows you each day to monetize and materialize what you want, who you can help, how best to reconcile time to prioritize your daily activities, activities you get paid for, activities you don't get paid for, your daily activities that are planned, unplanned, and even your sleep. Not in search of a why, not in search of getting happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy, but instead knowing with awareness of inspiration, you are happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. What are you doing to limit yourself? What are you doing to interfere with what you want, who you can help, and who can help you? This is how we make possibilities probabilities, and probabilities perspective. All right, we're right on the half hour, right on time, considering we're teaching reconciliation of time. We have tons of questions. Please ask more questions. We have tons of questions here. And Colleen, why don't you put someone on deck? I'll take a question online if you wouldn't mind getting our first guest up on Clubhouse to ask a question. Does that sound fair? Yes. Perfect. All righty. I will ask here the first question. What is your favorite, quote unquote, and least favorite part of being a business coach? Well, first of all, coach is a word of bringing the best out in people. You know, I love to teach, mentor, coach people in all the different aspects. A mentor is someone that gives directions to where they're at. A coach is someone that brings the most out of people. A teacher is someone that could have the capability of explaining how to do it. And my favorite thing is elevating others, by far. And my least favorite thing is when people don't have coherence. There's accountable, coachable people, and then there's the people who live in blame, shame, and justification. Invariably, I will tell you that each client that I've had, whether it be on the free trainings, in the group settings that we have, or even one-on-one or business advisory, there's nothing I can do other than teach, bring the best out of the person, and give directions. If there's no coherence, meaning remembering what I said and doing it, there's no success. And so my least favorite, and I love saying always least favorite, because everything has positive life, love, and lessons in it. But my least favorite is not being able to communicate, motivate, and inspire someone to practice coherence. It's living in that accountability of remembering what to do and doing it. That's the lesson I truly want to teach, because anyone can teach, mentor, and coach if somebody has coherence, the ability to practice it and to actually utilize attention and intention on what it is. So whether you list down all the people here on Breakfast of Champions, we all have unbelievable methodologies, varying in degrees of all types of statistical success, but they don't matter. Whether you're Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, myself, all the great people Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, doesn't matter what genre it is, Napoleon Hill, hundreds of years. If somebody doesn't have coherence, it doesn't matter. So that's my least favorite part of being a coach, is the limitations that people put themselves through by not practicing coherence, and then utilizing blame, shame, and justification in judgments and conditions to explain why whoever that coach or mentor or teacher is. I love kids who don't get an A in a class and then they blame the teacher. It's amazing. So coherence is key. You can get it on your own. You can look at YouTube, get to the same place as any other coach out there. I give everything for free. I always laugh. People need personal coherence help or accountability help. That's cool, but coherence is the key. Great question. All right, Colleen, who's our first person up here on Clubhouse?
Great. Yeah, we're going to start with Blaine, and just wanted to make a reminder to email David@dmeltzer if you want the training guide that goes along with this training today. That's David@dmeltzer. All right, Blaine, come on up and unmute yourself.
I don't hear him. Do you?
Not yet. We do have a question here from TikTok. If you want to take that first.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so from Keith on TikTok, do you need courage to live an inspired life?
Do you need courage to live an inspired life? Well, one, I would say when we need something, that means it's missing. So to live an inspired life, all you need to have is the belief that there's something bigger than you that loves you more than you love your children or your mom loves you. See, once you believe and have faith in that, then you already have all the other attributes that you think you may or may not have in order to effectuate clearing the interference between you and the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing. Like, imagine if I try to spend the majority of my time in faith, right? I do spend minutes and moments in fear-based consciousness, which creates the necessity for courage, by the way. But for me, faith that there's something bigger than me that loves me that much. Now, when there's mistakes, failures, and setbacks, obstacles, voids, and shortages that people would portray a necessity of courage, I simply take a position of promotion and protection, and through productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, try to find the light, the love, and the lessons in it as quickly as possible by clearing the fear by identifying what I'm afraid of, stopping, dropping, and rolling, and reminding, recollecting, and remembering what and who walks with me at all times. So courage is already there. It's not a necessity. It's who you are and what you're connected to. Remember, it's a very simple faith to expect miracles, to expect what you want. You should expect everything that you want without limitation because of who you are. I'll repeat that. You should expect everything you want in order to help and to get helped, everything you want because of who you are. You will receive that because of who God is, or source is, or that omniscient, all powerful being that you must believe in order to effectuate the practices that I teach. You will receive what you want because of who God is. And you will offer it to others, the who you can help. You will offer it to others because you are a part of that source. You are a resource. You are a part of God. So expect what you want because of who you are. You receive what you want because of who God is, and you will offer what you want to others because you are a part of God. It's that simple. Courage is inherent in who you are and who God is. Therefore, figure out what you're doing to interfere with your courage, your love, your purpose, your forgiveness, etc. Awesome question, by the way. Colleen, do you have someone else that wants to come up on Clubhouse?
Yeah, we're going to bring up Mike Allen.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Doing fantastic. My question is, Dave, so if all the millionaires, billionaires, athletes, entertainers that you've worked with and have featured on your podcast as well and TV shows, you talk about the commonality of them having the spirit of excellence. How do you define that? What is that?
Yeah. Spirit of excellence is created with a desire. And that desire is a desire that you must be what you can be. So utilizing the faith that I have of infinity, of omniscient, all powerful, all knowing abundance of more than enough of everything, of everyone, then that motivates and inspires the enjoyment of, or the focus of attention and intention on the cause, the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. And the spirit of excellence has that desire. Every single billionaire, millionaire, entrepreneur, celebrity, athlete, entertainer that I've been blessed to be around has this spirit of excellence. They have a desire that they must be what they can be by enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of their potential. They're not worried or complaining about what other people want for them, what's missing, or what they don't want. They are putting their attention and intention on the causes in a trajectory of a milestone or a goal, but putting all of their energy into the cause that's going to make it happen. And that desire stems from the ability to make possibilities, probabilities, and probabilities perspective. So that's a great question as well. I'm going to take another question online, Colleen. Who will be up next on Clubhouse?
Great. We're going to try Blaine again afterward.
Okay, perfect. All right, next question. How to believe in making lots of money when you've never made much before? There's a great limitation or a thermostat that so many people put upon themselves. And that's why you'll see people that have a limitation or a thermostat of their bank account. And so you have to go beyond belief in making money. You have to understand three worlds: a scarce world of not enough, and transcending that world where things happen to you, where you're limited, where there's not enough of anything for anyone, no matter how much you have. I know multimillionaires that have this belief of not enough. You have to transcend it even beyond the world of just enough. So many people have just enough for them, and they're living at their energetic and genetic inheritance, and they still have limitations because they have just enough for them. They're living in a world of bidding to receive, of trading, negotiation, a scarce world, buying things to make themselves happy, buying more things to make themselves happy, buying things they don't need to make themselves happy, buying things to impress people to make themselves happy, and buying things to impress people they don't even like to make themselves happy. A world of just enough where they give to receive, which is nothing more than an exaggerated state of scarcity that will limit the amount of money that you make to whatever not only you do, say, think, and believe, but a feeling, a thermostat, a temperature that you have within the context of your energetic and genetic inheritance. It truly is the ultimate limitation. Until you can understand the 3 steps of abundance of number 1, appreciation. Appreciation is an awareness of adding value to what you already have. Adding value extends and expands what you have, because appreciation means to add value. It transcends the zero-sum game of when I give, I will receive something as a bid. When I give, somebody else will receive, and when I give, I will lose, that there's some kind of zero-sum involved. But to transcend that into the world of abundance, of a value add world, where when I appreciate what I had, I add value to it. The second step is acknowledgement. In order to acquire the knowledge of what we have to get rid of it. So we either give it away, lose it, have it stolen from us, manipulated from us, cheated from us, oversold from us, or back-end sold from us. It doesn't matter. Once you relieve yourself of the appreciated matter, once you relieve yourself of what you have by those methodologies and mechanisms, you now know what you had. And the lessons are inherent within it. And when we learn those lessons, we now are able to ask for more, because we've learned from what we had. We've learned from that acknowledgement, and we can ask for more, which coincides with, is synergistic with, and supplementary to what the universe is doing, expanding, growing, and accelerated in a value add vacuum, not a zero-sum game. So if you appreciate everything you have, allow it to be relieved from you, and then ask for more. This is the cycle of possibilities to probabilities to perspective. You will expand, grow, and accelerate. You will break through that internal thermostat. You will shift your energy. You will activate a higher level of frequency or vibration within the context of your energetic and genetic inheritance, according to money. And pretty soon you'll start living within the unlimited realm of a currency called money, an object of energy that you put into the flow to get what you want. Money is nothing more than energy. Energy is unlimited and infinite in its being. You are the one that is limiting how much of it you are attracting. You could take all the money in the world, dump it into a desert. It would redistribute itself to the same people with those thermostats set. Those who are unlimited in their beliefs, and you know the names, they're out there. Elon Musk, Bezos, Branson, Robbins. Everyone sets those limitations. Learn to live in possibilities, probabilities, to monetize and materialize in the greatest capacity that you have by breaking away the limitations of the abundant world, the value add world that you live, by appreciating what you have, acknowledging it, and asking for more. That's the cycle I want everyone to live in. All right. Is Blaine up, Colleen?
He is. Following Blaine, we'll have Siga.
Awesome.
All right. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Fantastic. So my question today is about pursuing your potential. How do you decide which areas of your life you're going to pursue your potential in?
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier, Blaine, these 5 daily practices. So every day I take into consideration midterm and long-term objectives. So a long-term objective is mine is to live healthy for over 111 years. Therefore, when I ask myself every morning, what do I want personally? I make the decisions of what I want according to a trajectory to be healthy for that long. Or I may have a midterm objective because my 12-year-old, my last child leaving the home, will be out of the home at 18. So I have a midterm objective 6 years from now. I'd like to purchase this property in this place, or I'd like to have a motorhome to travel the country, or some other objective for today that I now guide what I want personally professionally, giving and receiving wise, in order to effectuate a trajectory towards the motorhome or towards living to over 111 years. And then I ask myself, who can I help with this and who can help me? And then I figure out how to get it done, reconciling time into that by paying attention and giving attention to the causes with lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, which creates efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success, not only in man-made time, 24 hours of time of activity, but in relativity of time, making me capable of enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of that potential. And this is a daily activity that can change daily. The thing is, if you are learning daily and utilizing the 5 daily practices daily, your shifts are subtle and they don't create more limitations or interference. They run fluidly in an accelerated pace of growth, acceleration, and expansion, utilizing appreciation, acknowledgement, and of course, asking for more. This is the key. These 5 daily practices, which I'm more than happy to send you, Blaine, David at dmeltzer.com. As Colleen said, look up in my bio, Google me. I don't care. I answer everything myself. I'm happy to give you these practices that will change the way you look at things and monetize and materialize the things in your life. Taking nothing and making it a possibility, taking a possibility and making it a probability, and a probability and monetizing, materializing it into your perspective. That's simple. But it takes discipline, strategy, and awareness to effectuate the 5 daily practices. And you have to be open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed with love and forgiveness in order to make those mistakes daily and change your mind by the lessons that you've learned. Be a fast learner. Have the L column mean learning. Have the W column mean what you know. Right? You're just executing on what you know. That's all winning is. Learning is in that other column with mistakes, failures, setbacks, and losses. All right, let me take another question online and we'll line up Siga next. Thank you for your patience, everyone. This is the possibility, probability, and perspective training. I've been doing trainings for over 22 years for free every Friday, incorporated now. We have over 64,000 people registered on our webinar. We have IG, TikTok, and Clubhouse. Transcending all platforms here just to be of service and of value to others. Can you expand on we don't make wishes? Are you saying the universe is a genie and just continue make wishes and it's us and our ego and our fears, thoughts, and worries that cancels out our wishes? We make wishes, right? But the wishes are accessing what already exists. We have to figure out what we're doing to interfere with our wishes, our dreams, our faith. What is it is, and it's fear. It's all fear. Under self-preservation, fear will motivate you. It'll get you up, get you started, get you back started, and get you back up. But it's not going to get you there. It'll create interference between you and, if you believe and have faith in the abundant, all-knowing, omniscient, all-powerful, everything for everyone, then you'll start to realize that the wishes that we make are simply a calling to what already exists. And we have to figure out what we're doing to limit it, to interfere with it. That's what this entire training is about. And so nothing cancels our wishes, but we wish for what other people want for us. We wish for what's missing. We wish for what we don't want the majority of the time. We surround ourselves with ideas and people that bleed us or create interference between us and the omniscient, all-powerful, and all-knowing. We don't reconcile time in the discipline, strategy, and awareness in order to effectuate our attention and intention on what we want, to prioritize what we want by knowing what's important to us, not what's important to other people, what we don't want or what's missing. So many people spend the majority of their time on things that bleed them, because they know there's light, love, and lessons in the thing or the person or the place or the situation that's bleeding them. They stay at the same school. They stay at the same job. They stay with the same people, even though they know they're being bled, because there's light, love, and lessons in it, because they have not learned to reconcile time, the man-made construct of time, into the pursuit of being fed, so that they can feed even more people by utilizing the 5 daily practices of seeing, is this aligned with, synergistic, or supplementary to what I want and who I can help and who can help me, which inspires me to then figure out how to do this by reconciling time. So many people don't even wish. So many people don't use their intuition, inspiration, and intellect in order to effectuate who they can help and who can help them to be inspired. And the majority of people do not reconcile time with discipline strategy to monetize and materialize what they want. They continually create more limitations, more interference, and accelerate in the wrong direction, wondering why they can't break through, wondering why they keep doing all the right things, saying all the right things, thinking all the right things, and even believing it, but ending up in the same place, the same thermostat, the same temperature. Because until you feel it, you're not inspired. And you're not going to feel it unless you have the discipline, strategy, and awareness to monetize and materialize it. All righty, let's bring up the incredible Siga.
Good morning. It's always wonderful to see you, David. And I see Colleen. Jake is not here, but I see Colleen's smiling face. So I am so happy. So Dave, talking about operating from a place of not enough and lack instead of limitless, infinite abundance. If you're working with a partner, relatively new partner, among other partners on a project that's supposed to be a joint project, and you begin to see behaviors that show lack of trust and bring concern, and this person have expressed more than once that they don't trust people, and of course, inevitably, they started exhibiting what is untrustworthy behavior. My question is, what strategies would you recommend to employ in making a decision to enter either into a long-term partnership when that's on the table via a jointly owned LLC to do joint ventures in, or to start out with short-term relationship by doing a contract basis for each project so that you can learn in the process? And let me just underscore it, and then I'll be quiet and get out of the way. I will underscore it with these behaviors, not only at my level from my company we've observed, but also external partners that we brought to the table, global partners, have begun to reach out to say, hey, we have some concerns. And this is, of course, triggering my own trust issues and my team's own trust issues, but also those partners because of past deals and things they've experienced. So I'll get out of the way to hear what strategies you recommend. Thank you, David.
Absolutely. The strategy that I utilize in this situation is the 3 C's. And I think I learned it from Greg Reed. We have clues in these business interactions, and we look at those clues, and through the clues that we have through these daily activities with these partners of ours, we start seeing patterns. And these patterns are analyzed with the great chain of feeding to how much they are feeding us, these patterns, and how much they're bleeding us. Then we reconcile time into the prioritization process of the people that we're partnering with to determine how much time we're going to allocate to that partner or opportunity. And we prioritize the opportunities that we have and the partners that we have by who feeds us most. And then according to, whatever mechanisms you use in LLCs or individual independent agreements or consultative services or volunteering or whatever it may be, we pragmatically look at the clues, the patterns, and prioritize those to make our choice of who we're going to feed ourselves. We only have 24 hours a day of man-made constructive activity. We only have so many resources in that day in order to utilize. And so we need to effectuate where best to utilize our resource, right, from source. Where are we best going to allow that to happen? And we look at the clues that are given through our interactions with these people and opportunities. We look at the patterns that we see in order to effectuate the choices that we make by reconciling how much time are we going to spend with the people that feed us the most down to the people that bleed us the most. It's a very simple spectrum that I utilize, always aware and looking for the light, the love, and the lessons of those clues, seeing what patterns are formed to make an educated choice on where I spend my time, my energy, my emotion. And I'm going to spend it and prioritize it to the things that are most aligned, supplementary, synergistic to what I want and who I can help and who can help me. In other words, the things that feed me. And I'll let the others fall away, whether it's using an overlap agreement instead of having a consultative agreement, instead of having an employment agreement, instead of having co-ownership, knowing in the 4 aspects of business, there's performance-based opportunities, equity-based opportunities, consultative-based opportunities, understanding how in a pragmatic way we feed people who partner in opportunities that we have in a business context. Know the clues, see the patterns, make the choices by what's most important to you personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise, who you can help, who can help you. In other words, who's feeding you the most and feed them. Does that sound fair, Siga?
That sounds amazing, as I knew it would. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for asking the questions. I got one more question online, and then we love to end on time at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 Eastern time. This has been Possibilities, Probabilities, and Perspective. Reach out to me if you want those 5 daily practices or my book or anything I can do to be of service. David@dmeltzer.com. Last question here. Somebody's interested in what the 5 levels of intention are. Those levels of intention are misconstrued and misused by so many people. So many people think intention is what we do. That's only the start. Some people know it's what we do and what we say, and they cancel out, negative words and judgments and conditions and attacks, but that's just 2/5 of it. A lot of people have read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, or read Wayne Dyer's Power of Intention. And they say, David, it's not only what you do, it's not only what you say, but third, it's what you think. But once again, you're only 3/5 of the way there. And then moving on to the 4th level of intention, it's not just what you do, say, and think, it's truly what you believe. And now we have to get inherently into the subconscious beliefs that we have, energetic and genetic inheritances of belief. But to understand that unconscious construct of an unconscious competency of belief, because that's what belief is, that dictates what we do, say, and think. Most importantly, utilizing emotion, how we feel. The 5th level of intention is the indicator that we've cleared away the limitations, cleared away the interference, that we feel in spirit. We feel aligned with our intuition and our intellect. We're capable of reconciling time with this extraordinary feeling in order to effectuate what we have paid attention to, who we can help and who can help us with that inspiration to monetize and materialize it in the real world. The 5 levels of intention are what you do, say, think, believe, and feel. Happy to send those to you. This has been Possibilities, Probabilities, and Perspective. Remember, the only thing you want to kill off in your lifetime is your limitations, because you are limitless. Live in infinity, live in the world of more than enough of everything for everyone. Know your what, your who, your how, your now, and apply your why. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Colleen, thank you so much. Who needs the Jakey Bakey when we have Colleen? She is amazing. Close out the room for me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Fantastic training today. Just want to wish everybody happy holidays.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm on vacation.